Hello, everyone, and welcome into another edition of the Sports Stove Draft Show. It's been a while since we've been able to get some new content out there. So today we're looking at teams that need a wide receiver in the early rounds of the 2026 NFL Draft. We do have a few teams that have some desperate needs. We got some teams that have some, mediocre needs or whatever it may be at wide receiver. And so we'll discuss that today. Today's episode presented by Righteous Felon Jerky. Join the flavor revolution at righteousfelon.com. Use that promo code STOVE15. That'll let them know that you heard about them from us, and it'll get you a nice little discount there with your order as well. I highly encourage the bootleg and barbecue, my favorite flavor there at Righteous Felon. But all of them are great. Actually, there's only been one that I'm not a fan of. It's the Truffalo Bill. All the other flavors I absolutely love. The texture of the jerky is amazing. Check it out. They also have beef sticks. So check it out there at righteousfelon.com. Again, that promo code is STOVE15 to get you a discount there at checkout. All right. 2006 NFL Draft wide receiver class is absolutely stacked. We are all but guaranteed to see 4 wide receivers go in the first round. There is potential for 5 or 6 as well. When we're looking at the draft and we're getting the declarations are coming in the next couple of weeks, we'll have everyone declared. So then we'll go back through the position groups again. But I have Jordan Tyson 1, Carnell Tate 2, Makai Lemon 3, Denzel Boston 4. And those are the 4 I think go in the first round. Chris Brazzell from Tennessee, Elijah Surratt from Indiana, Antonio Williams from Clemson, Casey Concepcion from A&M. Chris Bell would have been up there, but the injury, I think that knocks him out of the first round for sure, possibly even out of the second round. We'll see how all that shakes out. Then you got guys that, Zachariah Branch, if he declares potentially, he could be up in that spot too. So that's just kind of where I'm at right now. We'll see where it all gets to once everyone declares. There are some trade options out there for teams who need wide receivers this coming year. Jerry Jeudy could be available for trade. Chris Godwin from Tampa could be available. Darnell Mooney. Juwan Jennings is the intriguing one for me in San Francisco. Do they end up keeping him, trading him? What do they do there? Chris Olave, DJ Moore, Jalen Hyatt, Calvin Ridley, all names that you could see get traded here this offseason. Free agency-wise, there's not a ton of, top-tier talent in free agency this year. George Pickens would be a guy that if Dallas, doesn't re-sign, then you're looking at an option there. Outside of him, you got some good players, Wan'Dale Robinson, Rondale Moore, Romeo Dobbs. There are some options there in the free agent market, but really not great options to say the least. So let's look at some teams that could go wide receiver early. Teams I think could or should take wide receiver early. Let's start with Buffalo. Buffalo, listen, they're very, very good. They've got talent. They still have yet to really find that elite number 1 guy for Josh Allen. And I think if you could land a guy like a Denzel Boston, he's got the frame that you love, 6'4", 210 or somewhere in that range as well. So, you have to figure it out and go from there and see if the Buffalo finds that number 1 guy. So Buffalo is an option there for sure in the first round where they're picking all of those kinds of things. They could fit into that Chris Brazzell category, the Denzel Boston category. Antonio Williams is an intriguing prospect, not a great season as none of the Clemson players really had a great season this year. But he's a name that could definitely rise up the boards as well. Then Buffalo's a key team to watch. The Jets, listen, they're probably going to trade up and go quarterback with the first overall pick. But let's say they sign a free agent quarterback or trade for a quarterback and they keep those 2 first-round picks. One of them has to be at wide receiver. Garrett Wilson's great. He's phenomenal. But you got to have more pieces to help whatever quarterback you do bring in. So they're an option for sure as well in the first round. The New York Football Giants. Listen, this team, I've predicted that they get Jordan Tyson. Other people are putting Jordan Tyson there too. A Jordan Tyson or Carnell Tate to go right there to be the number 2 guy. See, they don't need the number 1 guy. They need a number 2 guy, and Wan'Dale Robinson is really good. Maybe they re-sign him, and then they can bring in a third guy. I like Robinson as a third guy personally better than a second guy, but nonetheless, they've got a number 1. Getting another elite talent. Look at what Cincinnati did for Joe Burrow and how that turned out early in his career. Jackson Dart, if you get him all the pieces in place, now I like Jeremiah Love there for the Giants too. They like their running back situation, but nonetheless, playmaker for the Giants. I like receiver. I like a Tyson or Tate there in the first round for the Giants as well. The Las Vegas Raiders at 2, you have to expect they're going to go quarterback. And we'll see what happens with the quarterback market. Can they trade up into the number 1 spot? Do they have to get the second best guy? Does Dante Moore come out? There's so many factors that play in right now for the Raiders, but they have to get wide receiver help. So if they don't get it in the first, they can get it in the second. Those same guys, Chris Brazzell, Casey Concepcion, Antonio Williams, Elijah Surratt. There's other guys, Chris Bell from Louisville. There's other guys, maybe Mekhi Lemon falls. I don't think he will, but those kinds of things. Zechariah Branch could be there in the second round. Like, there are going to be options in that second round pick for the Raiders at wide receiver, and they've got to get some more playmakers there to help out their situation. If they get a rookie quarterback, well, then you got to get receivers to help your rookie quarterback as well. Tennessee, speaking of young quarterbacks, Tennessee, they're in need of some talent out there on the outside as well. They're in that Tate, Tyson, Lemon conversation early in the round 1, or those guys that we've mentioned for round 2, even round 3. There's going to be some good talent there at wide receiver. And I like the Titans to go wide receiver early. Browns, listen, if they trade Judy, if they don't trade Judy, it doesn't matter. They still need wide receiver help. And they also need quarterback help. And there's all kinds of needs in Cleveland on the offensive side of the ball. But I think that they're another option there for wide receiver in the round 1. New Orleans is the one that I kind of like the best. Tyler Shuck has done enough to hold that job for next year. He's playing very good football. While they do technically still have a wide receiver in-house in Chris Olave, they traded out one of their, I think their best wide receiver currently. And so now they're stuck. They need help there as well. Where they're picking in round 1, they could get the best receiver off the board possibly. Again, you throw a Jordan Tyson or a Carnell Tate into that situation. I think Lemon actually fits well here in New Orleans also. I have him as my clear-cut number 3 behind Tate and Tyson. And I love Jordan Tyson. Wherever he goes, he's going to be an immediate impact player. But again, you look at even Denzel Boston. I think that's a little rich for Denzel Boston personally in round 1 for New Orleans, where they'll be picking. But round 2, I like it. Any of those guys that we've mentioned down there as well. Atlanta's the other intriguing team. It's my last team that I think is needs to go receiver in round 1 or 2. And they've got to add on to London. They've got some free agency things they got to figure out as well. I just really think that the Falcons need to find, and listen, they've gone receiver or offensive talent heavy until last year when they go 2 linebackers. They're not going to have the kind of pick that they had in the past because of the trade to go up and get another linebacker or edge rusher. But nonetheless, Atlanta, as they pick early, they're going to be in a prime spot there. Look for those names like Chris Bell or Deion Burks. If Zechariah Branch comes out, there's one to consider there for Atlanta as well. Guys, Jacoby Lane may be a name also. There's going to be options there for them in as they get to their pick eventually. So I like that. So those are the teams. Buffalo, the Jets, the Giants, the Raiders, the Titans, the Browns, and the Saints. Throw in Atlanta in there as well, that I think have to target a receiver early in the draft. Then I've got 5 teams that I think need wide receiver help that could possibly target receiver early. Let's start with Miami. Jalen Waddle is there. He's under contract through 2029. They also have Tyreek Hill currently under contract. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. If they can void it out the following year, I think they move on from him. So they're a team to watch for wide receiver, maybe in round 2 or number 3 as well. Washington's a really intriguing one too. They can void out Debo's contract here. Will that happen? I'm not sure. They still have Scary Terry, one of my favorite non-Packer players in the NFL. If they keep Debo around, then they can punt on receiver for a little bit later. If they choose to move on from him, then look for them in round 2 or 3 to attack at wide receiver as well. San Francisco, depending on what they do they trade Juwan Jennings? How do they decide to take care of the needs that they have there on the offensive side? I'd love to see them go running back early, but they're a team to watch for wide receiver early. Denver needs a tight end. That's the next episode. But Denver needs a tight end. They could also use some wide receiver help as well. Maybe they target a receiver early. And then Pittsburgh's the last one. What is Pittsburgh going to do? What are they going to do at quarterback? What are they going to do with all the different needs that they have? DK Metcalf comes over here at the end of the season, gets into some trouble, and I'm intrigued. The offseason for Pittsburgh is going to be very, very intriguing. And so nonetheless, I think you watch that team as another wide receiver team out there as well. Feel free to drop your comments. Let me know what you think. Does your team need a wide receiver or do they not? Should they attack early or should they wait? Do you love these guys at the top? The Tyson, Tate, Lemon, Boston, Brazel, Bell, all these guys at the top? Or do you say, you know what, I'd rather wait till round 4 or 5 to get a receiver to kind of fit in, be a puzzle piece to say? Or do you think you should go trade options or free agent options instead? There's all kinds of options out there. These are just my thoughts. And I appreciate so much when you comment and leave your opinions. I do not think that I'm 100% correct. I'm only 98% correct. But that being said, I appreciate your comments. Some of you are a little hateful. And all you need is a snack. And you can get that snack at righteousfelon.com. And if you use the promo code STOVE15, maybe you'll be a little less grouchy about your team and what they're going to be doing or not doing in the NFL draft this season. Feel free to follow us. I would love for you to follow us on social media at Sports Stove. We're mostly on Twitter. We do have Instagram. We do have Facebook. Twitter is where we're the most active on things still to this point. Our YouTube channel, the Sports Stove Media YouTube channel, please subscribe. Many have. We thank you so much for that. But it really helps us out if you'll subscribe there. And if you like the audio version, the Sports Stove Football Show podcast is where you can get all these draft episodes, as well as the weekly episode my dad joins me on as well to talk NFL and college football. So you can find it all there. Don't forget about Righteous Felon. Check out that jerky, the beef sticks. It's so, so, so good. I promise you will not regret it. This is the wide receiver needs episode. We still have tight ends coming up next. And over the next couple of days, we'll be dropping episodes with these needs and we'll get into the defensive side of the things before too long too. All our past episodes you can go tune in on the Sports Stove Media YouTube channel or the Sports Stove Football Show podcast, there as well. All right, I've been Stover. Thank you for tuning into this edition. We'll see you again very shortly on our next episode of the Sports Stove NFL Draft Show.